People, the FMCG market is by far one of the most competitive markets in the world. The margins are thin, the supply chain is complex, and customer retention is very challenging. So much so that even after pouring in crores of rupees, many companies often incur losses and even quit the market altogether. Which is why since decades, this industry has always had only a handful of players who can afford to pour in crores of rupees just to start a venture. But you know what? An ordinary middle class Indian came out with a simple but a brilliant idea that ended up changing the dynamics of the entire FMCG market. And this idea gave rise to what is now about to become a $1 billion company. And not just that, the concept of this idea is now being applied by $1 billion companies like Coca-Cola and Procter & Gamble also. The question is, what is so amazing about this idea that it redefined a $1 billion industry? And more importantly, how can you use this concept to apply to your business? So as usual, let's dive into the story. This story dates back to the late 1980s India. Back then, India was a fairly underdeveloped country. And if you ask your parents, they would tell you that back then even shampoos and perfumes were considered to be luxury products. And as far as brands were concerned, most brands didn't even bother to cater to the needs of the lower middle class people, because every brand had a certain segment of the audience below which they could not do viable business. Now, just to give you a better understanding of the same, if you were to draw a pictorial representation of the purchase power or affordability of the audience for any product, it would look like a pyramid. A very simple example of the same is the mobile phone market. On top of the pyramid, you've got these bunch of people who can afford iPhones and ultra premium Samsung phones. And then below that, you got people who buy OnePlus phones, followed by people who buy Oppo and Vivo. And on the lower end, you got Jio phones and Nokia phone buyers. And these are the products that will cost you between 1,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees. And below this price point of say 1,000 rupees, you won't find any reputed company manufacturing phones. Because for any mobile manufacturer, it isn't viable to make a phone and sell it at a profitable margin below 1,000 rupees. And this segment of the audience, that is the lowest strata of the customer base, is what you call as the bottom of the pyramid. Similarly, if you look at the shampoo market, in the 1980s it looked something like this. On top you had these luxury brands, the imported brands, and after them, the only strong contenders were Sunsilk and Clinic Plus, which only catered to the needs of the upper segment of the pyramid. And the least you could find was a 100 ml shampoo bottle that would cost you 40 rupees. Now the point to be noted over here is that we are talking about a time wherein even the salaries of white collar employees was in the range of 1,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees per month. And for them, 40 rupees ka shampoo bottle was a very big deal. But the shampoo companies didn't even bother to sell to the rest of the population because they believed that they couldn't do viable business. And that is when the hero of our story, Mr. Chinni Krishnan, had an idea. He was an ordinary middle class person with an extraordinary inventor's mindset. And he had this philosophy that everything that a rich person can afford should be accessible and affordable to a poor person also. So one fine day he observed that the pricing of a 100 ml shampoo bottle was 40 rupees. And in one bottle, you could wash your hair for about 20 times, considering 5 ml per wash. So essentially, the cost of one wash was 2 rupees. So practically speaking, a rich person paid 2 rupees per wash. And that is when he thought that this 2 rupees price is something that even a lower middle class person can afford. It's just that he can't afford to pay for the entire bottle at once. So why not divide the same bottle of shampoo into small segments and make it affordable for the lower middle class people? And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, the idea of sachets came into existence. Now, Chinni Krishnan sir did this not just for shampoos, but for many other products like salt and talcum powder also. Initially, the idea was not very successful, but his son, C.K. Ranganathan, took it forward and formed a company called Kavin Care. And he did a thorough market survey and found out that rural families wouldn't spend more than 2 rupees per month on sachets, with an estimate that a customer would wash his or her hair once a week. So they launched 50 paise sachets in Tamil Nadu in 1983. And in just 1 year, they ended up selling 10 lakh sachets. Fast forward to today, Kavin Care, which started with only 15,000 rupees of capital, is now a 1,100 crore empire. But the story doesn't end here. The idea of sachets gave the FMCG market three incredible superpowers, and these are practical techniques that even you can use for your startups. Number one, tomorrow if a company wants to launch a new product or a new flavor of a shampoo, it doesn't have to spend exorbitantly to manufacture millions of 100 ml bottles and then wait for the customer's reaction. Now, they could just spend a fraction of that money to make sachets, and they could give it away for free as complimentary products and see if the customers come back to buy more. The second superpower that this idea gave was through upsells. For example, if you see the Head and Shoulders sachet, it will cost you about 4 rupees for an 8.5 ml pack, which is about 47 paise per ml. But at the same time, if you buy a 180 ml bottle, it will cost you 150 rupees, which is about 83 paise per ml. If you see, that is about almost 36% increase in profit from sachet to a bottle. And when you factor in millions of bottles that are being sold, that's $1 million profit. So this is how brands first sell smaller packets, and once they gain the trust of the customers, they increase the margins on bigger packs, which translates into $1 million profit. And third and most importantly, the concept of bottom of the pyramid is today being used by multiple brands to penetrate both into the lower stratas of the society and to make their products more affordable for a larger segment of the audience. A classic example of the same is 20 rupees bottle of Coca-Cola. Now, if you take a step back, you would observe that since the time the 20 rupees bottle came out, you hardly ever bought the 600 ml version of Coca-Cola. And that is because the quantity is perfect to suffice your need, and it is also super affordable. Today, Procter & Gamble comes out with smaller versions of its products, and nearly every product, starting from soaps to talcum powder, come in mini versions, which states the incredible power of this simple idea. And here's where all of us need to understand that regardless of how big the players are in a particular industry, ideas as simple as sachets can also bring about a revolution because they make a product market viable. And these kind of ideas open up gateways of business opportunities that even the big players never even bother to look into. And that is where you as an entrepreneur could find your pot of gold. At the end of the day, always remember that the greatest ideas are born not because someone has $1 billion or some rich connections, but because while the world is busy in its hustle and bustle, someone cares to take a pause to observe the little things in our life that we all take for granted. And this gives rise to an idea that changes the world forever. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button to let YouTube Baba know that you love the video. And more importantly, for more such business case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.